Were those Dominicans that you were copping from?
For us, yeah.
Okay.
But when I got, as far as the fish scale, but when I paid the lowest was from a smooth cat from Uptown. His name was Benson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mentioning his name because I got his permission to mention his name. He's still outside. He didn't go down with us.
Wow.
I never mentioned his name. And he was a big motorcycle guy, wheelies, racing motorcycles. He was doing a lot of things. He was a young guy also. But, our introduction wasn't so good. Sorry, Benson, if you listen. He had a girlfriend, and she became my girlfriend, and then she became my wife. And obviously, him and I had a fist fight. Then we had a shootout. And then he became my connect.
Wow.
Yeah. And now we tight friends to this day. And none of us talk to her.
What about the shootings? Like, you had 9 murders linked to your indictment.
Yeah.
Can you talk about those?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Well, first of all, what were they over?
Well, this is the thing. We got indicted for all those murders, right? But it wasn't necessarily because it's Tito or me associated with those other murders. Some of them were ours. But the ones that weren't is because I hired a guy because I know he shoots. Because now, 2 years later, when we get arrested, or 3 years later, who did different people for different timing, he still has that murder. But he's down with YTC. So, it's like a camera trick that they did. They're going to include it like if it was belonging to us, and it is not, it just belongs to him. But he wasn't working for us when he killed that guy.
Right. And they just lump it in.
I hired him because I know he kills guys, right?
Yeah.
Or I hired him because I know that he is, unapproachable. So that benefits me to have their presence around always.
And who were these killers
what you mean?
then during the crack era? Like, who are these killers? Are they teenagers like you guys?
Yeah.
Are they junkies?
No.
So junkies. These are like real, like,
young
murders.
Guys like us. Yeah. Young guys like us that that's what they into. It's no different than now. It's no different.
That's crazy. Seems a little young, to be like doing something
like just like now.
It seems like, but it's so serious. Murder's so serious,
Yeah, murder's, he can't get no more serious than that.
How much would it cost you back then to get somebody taken out?
It don't really cost nothing, but if you're a part of an organization, it ain't about I'm paying you extra.
Per body.
Well,
how much were your shooters on retainer? Like, how much did you pay your shooters just to be there?
Well, that depended on who was who. Some guy might get $5,000. He might have not shot nobody in 6 months, but he gets $5,000 out that money every week.
Right. Right.
So if you got $5,000 for the last 3 months and you got 40,000 or 50,000, whatever it is, you didn't do nothing, but now you got to do something.
Yeah.
You already got paid.
Right.
Wow.
So you paid.
And some people would be willing to shoot based on the loyalty to the crew.
Right.
So he's telling you, yo, I'm going to light this dude up because of this reason. This is what he did, or this is what he said, or this is what I found he's trying to do. And it was up to Tio and I to decide yes or no. And if both of us didn't decide yes together, the rule between he and I is it doesn't get done. So we both have to vote on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So was there ever a rift between you and Tito, or were you guys always like in sync?
Yeah, we were to this day.
So, wow. So you had shooters just paid just in case you needed them, basically.
Listen,
that's wild.
It was a chaotic time. Yeah. And then there's people trying to get at us all the time.
So you knew you were going to need them.
Yeah, you know that for sure. You knew, in fact, we knew we can't survive without them.
Yeah. Okay. So a little more detail if you could, like why would somebody have to get knocked off for a couple, just give us a couple of reasons why.
If you are plotting to kill us, that happened a few times.
Yeah.
If you are, if you stole a significant amount of work, right?
Like if you were a worker.
And but that I'm saying those are the reasons. Right. That particular thing never happened with us. For instance, there was a shooting in Harlem that had nothing to do with us, but it was by 3 members of our crew. It had nothing to do with us. It had something to do with one guy driving his car in a neighborhood. That was the newest guy that was down with us, right? So he had no say-so and no seniority. But he was driving down the block in Harlem. He was looking at some people strange. They look at him strange. He mouthed off to them. They shot at him, hit the car. He comes back to the block. He lies to 2 other employees and tells them that I and Tito want them to go handle the block. They go believe him and they go with him, and somebody ends up dead. That's a YTC murder.
Right.
But it had nothing to do with me and Tito at all.
Did you ever get robbed? Did stick-up boys ever get to you? Stick-up kids?
To me personally, you mean?
Yeah,
or the
to your crew.
No. To 2 members one time when I opened up another spot a few blocks over, they got robbed once or twice by the same guy. But we never found him. We would go looking for him, like, let's go see if this dude is around randomly, and we never found him.
Did you ever have workers get shot at by like crews? Because if you're selling deuces, now you're everybody else's business for
but that was our neighborhood, so there was no. We were the hierarchy. There's no voting.
Yeah.
There's no grievance box. There's no complaint box.
That's what I mean. So you have people on the front lines getting shot at though.
There's been a few guys that have gotten shot at and shot. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
One time, Pito got shot crossing the street, but he had a bulletproof vest on. The guys in the car took off. We know who did it. One of them is dead. One of them is sometimes back in the neighborhood right now.
Did that murder?
He didn't die.
But the guy who did? Well, I guess my question is, were there any murders that went unsolved to this day?
Nah, hell no, man. When you get an indictment, right, you either feel lucky or happy that something is not known about you, or you are eternally depressed because they have everything. That's the ladder we fell into.
Yeah.
It was a 95 count indictment. It was more than 100 pages, and everything was in there. For instance, we had a stash apartment in Allen. Is it Allen? Somewhere in the Bronx, right? And the owner of that house lived in the first floor. And the duplex that we had was on the second floor. And we had 2 guys living in there that were on the run for murder, right? And they would take their girlfriends there too, and they would stay there with them. So the only way for them 2 guys to make money is to chop up. So we have to give them work to chop up constantly so they could make money. But now they're playing music. Both of them sometimes arguing with their girlfriends. The guy from downstairs, the owner, he's saying they gotta go. I don't want them here no more. So Tito and I go and we moved them to Parkchester. That's an area in the Bronx. And we rent a little co-op and we move them in there. On the day we move them in there, it gets raided while we're downstairs. One guy is upstairs in the apartment putting things away. One guy is downstairs ordering pizza to take back upstairs. Tito and I are downstairs waiting to leave. Our job is done. We moved them there safely. We moved guns, silencers, grenades, everything into there, crack. There was even some dope we moved into there. Boom. 1 hour after everything is done, they got raided. They found street sweepers, silencers, machine gun, calico, 38, 9mm, crack, Kia coat, dope, jewelry. And worst of all, both of their girlfriends' cards for those census when you're pregnant. That's an ID. So when we finally got arrested, on the indictment was all of that, even though no one got caught.
Right.
Even though it was a fake lease, even though there was no prints taking or nothing, all that stuff got confiscated, but nobody got arrested. The guy that was in the apartment was Damon, and he jumped out the window in boxers, no sneakers on, and ran and got away.
Yeah.
Peter that was downstairs buying the pizza to take upstairs, the other guy that's on the run, he saw when they came.
Yeah.
He's wanted for murder.
Right.
For 2 of them.
Yeah.
So he left. He called us and told us what happened. And we went back. And then we picked up Damon and tried to reorganize, see what the damage was.
Yeah.
But bomb squad was there because of the grenade. So that made the problems bigger. You're like, man, this is an issue now.
Why you guys were running around with grenades back then?
Those are good to throw in somebody's car, we were thinking at the time.
Where would you get grenades from?
That is sold everywhere back then. When you're a guy, he would come with like a portfolio suitcase. It's not a suitcase, but the artists have these big leather suitcases they put canvases into.
Yeah.
So he would come with that, and he would have an AK. This week he got an AK-47 in there. He got 2 38s. He got 2 grenades. He got some other. He got whatever he's selling. And he sells that, and then he goes back to Virginia. He comes back again. He's like, yo, I got more shit you need. Boom, boom, boom. But he's doing that with different people in the neighborhood.
Right. So everybody is armed to the teeth.
Everybody's armed to the teeth, but the people that could buy the most is us because we're making the most. Yeah. So everybody knew, like, them little kids have a lot of guns. They wild. They're dangerous. So, leave them alone is what they used to say.
And you had a street sweeper at one point?
We had a few street sweepers. That's on the indictment also. Yeah. Street sweepers at the time were easy to get,
Wow.
The hardest, or the most unique guns at the time that we got, for me at least, was a Calico and a Desert Eagle, because at the time, that's my first time seeing a Desert Eagle,
That's a big gun for a little guy like you.
No
offense.
But we got rid of that. That was too big.
All right.
We got rid of it.
It's not like a New York gun.
Nah, that is like some Charles Bronson.
Yeah,
bro.
Right.
I used to carry around Glocks. That's what I used to carry around. That was my favorite gun at the time.
Yeah.
Or the Beretta, the lethal weapon Beretta, 15 shot.
Wow.
And all those weapons were easy. $500, $400, $300 to buy.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's one bundle.
Remind me whenever you remember, so I don't interrupt your flow, to tell you about this gun dealer that.
No, I want to hear about it.
Just remind me.
No, I'd like to hear about it right now.
Okay, so I'm in the neighborhood and I'm on the block, and I see Gloria. That's a skinny white chick. She's this skinny, but she wear black tights. So the tights are baggy on her. Them spandex tights. So she's bringing a customer to the spot, and that gets my attention. He's a white dude. So I'm checking it out, looking, but she is from here. You know what I'm saying? She is purple and she's yellow and she's silver. Yeah. So I'm trusting that she knows what the hell she's doing. So she brings him in there. He steps out. He waits for her in a pickup truck. She goes back in. They leave. I'm still on the block. They come back. She does the same thing. I go into the building and I ask, what's up with homegirl? Why she keep coming away? Oh, yo, my employee tells me she bring me a gun, and then she bring me another one. I'm like, gun? He's not a gun guy. He goes, yeah, he shows me in the box. He shows me a 32. He shows me a 38 in the box. Like, where she got that from? I don't match her. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, I don't know. So I go back up the block. I'm trying to see where she's at, what's going on, because she's trading guns for bundles. And the bundle is a deuce bundle. So you're selling guns for $200. I want to know who the you are, buy a bunch of them off of you. Yeah. Get them for less than $200. Right. So she comes back again with the guy. I walk to the pickup and I look, and the entire back of the pickup is just boxes. Wow. And I go, nah, it can't be. What the I had a V-neck t-shirt on, so I take off the V-neck t-shirt on and I cover my face. I go in my mailbox, I get a hammer, and I come outside, and I decide I'm just gonna stick this dude up and take the pickup, take everything he got back there. Yeah. I hid behind a car. I don't think they see me, but I believe they did see me, because at that time when she came out the building, he reversed out of the block instead of going forward where I was going to intercept him at. But what I didn't know, and what he didn't know, obviously, is that earlier they repeated that process on Amsterdam Avenue and sold guns up there. So other guys had the same idea. So when he reversed and left, he knew he wasn't coming back here, I'm assuming. And he started going back up there to buy. And up there they robbed him and shot him and took 84 guns from the back of. He was in Clinton Correctional Facility with me later on, years later. Damn. They took every gun he had in the back and his personal gun from him.
Wow. Now the whole hood uptown is strapped.
Unfortunately, the guys that did that were enemies of ours. So now we have to think about it, like, damn, this got all those guns. And some of those guns are the ones that, 4 of those guns are the ones that we used on the last time a hit was put on me and on Tito. In his case, he got shot in the head and in the arm, and a sergeant that was supervising or surveillance on the YTC spot also got shot that day. Wow. But those guns produced that kind of attitude where everybody could get shot.
Wow. When you found out, how would you find out there were hits on you? And where were those coming from?
one time word of mouth, and the other times I just saw it when it was happening, and I was just blessed to catch up on it and make my own moves.
Okay, can you talk about that?
Yeah, which one?
All of them.
So one time I'm standing on the corner with this dude that was down with us. His name was Jesus, and we observed this lady coming towards us. She's looking a little weird. She has a dress on, and it's late night, and she walks towards us. And when she gets closer and closer, I see she has some ugly ass ankles, and that leads me to see she has sneakers on. So I'm like, what the turns out it wasn't a chick. It's just a dude dressed in a dress. When he came out the store and passed us, he looked over to us and pulled out. Well, you could see if you're into that lifestyle, somebody passes you, what motion they're doing, and you could assume safely what that might be. So by the time he turned, as soon as he started turning around, we dispersed. He shot, but he didn't shoot any of us. He didn't get any of us. There's another time where, because of the shooting with Gangster Lou, two guys that we believe was associated to that crew. We don't know who they were, what they are, what they were paid, what their names are, but they were on the block, and one of my employees called me and told me, yo, there's two suspicious dudes over here, blah, blah, blah. His name is Mejo. And turns out they had bulletproof vests on and machine guns. They got arrested on the block. You can't be on that hot-ass block standing around with that on you. Yeah. Unless you're one of us and we have stash spots for it. Mailboxes, the grocery store, the homeboy allows us to do that in there, or the buildings, or the abandoned building. So they got arrested for that. The last time they tried to hit me was in 94. And 3 times I've played dead. The last time, it was Raymond, who is in Wendy Correctional Facility right now with 42 years. He put out a hit on us because he offered to pay us money to sell heroin on our blocks. And I told him no. He wasn't happy about that. So he started selling $3 bottles on Amsterdam. Not himself, but he gave drugs to somebody to do that. So I went over there, took the drugs from the guy, pulled out on him, took his money, threw it in the street. So that it's not like I'm trying to rob you. I'm saying you and let everybody take it for free. Yeah. So then he decided, all right, I'm gonna put a hit out on them. So he got a guy that was down with us to give him to deliver to him a picture of me that he got from my apartment, and for him to hug Tito when he's in a cab, pointing out, look, the guy that's getting hugged, that's one of them. His name is Tito, and this is the other guy. This is a picture of him. So a 5-member team came through. If you want, I got the paperwork for that, like the sentencing minutes. If you need it to include it, I could send it to you. I didn't bring that, and I didn't send that to Brian. I did send him a bunch of stuff, but I could send that to you. So he distributed these guns, and he paid $20,000 for me, $20,000 for Tito, so we could get hit. So I'm walking up the block one day where I live on 107th Street, and I noticed 3 guys walking behind me. I don't know them, and I get the feeling, I get this eerie feeling. So I'm like, I walk a little more, I stop, they stop. This happened 3 times. I walk again, I'm trying to get up the block. I'm racing with time because at any minute, these could decide to start shooting if I'm correct in what I'm assuming. So the 3rd time that I stop and look back, these dummies start looking at the sky. They in a near star on Columbus Avenue sky. And I'm like, yeah, something's up with this. So I go around the corner and I go into the grocery store where we have guns and where we have say-so. So one of them walks in behind me. Boom. Now my heart. You never been scared that at least in your ears, you could hear your heart? Maybe you're not even hearing. Maybe it's a vibration. I don't know. But you, that's how I felt. Because now I know this is for sure. He monkeys around looking for potato chips, but every time he grabs an item to purchase, he looks at me. And he grabs a soda and he looks at me. He puts it on the counter. He talks to the guy about some cigarettes. He turns around and he looks at me. Now I'm certain there's going to be an issue here. So I walk out the store, but I jam the door with my leg so he can't push it. The other 2 guys are standing right there, though. So now I'm trying to figure out, how do I get past these 2 dudes? So I look at the traffic, and it's coming slow. And as soon as it gets closer, I'm going to just sprint across the street and hope that the cars, as I pass them, are putting distance or blocking what I think could be happening here. I do that. I spin across the street. Across the street, now I'm talking to an employee that used to be down with us from Chelsea, and I'm telling him, yo, this is what's going on. I think these dudes is problem, blah, blah, blah. And I have another dude that's down with us, and his name is Ernie. I didn't tell Ernie because the last time me and Ernie were looking at people that had an issue with us, Ernie shot 5 people, and now we went to jail for 5 attempted murders. So I didn't want to tell him because his trigger finger's gonna be faster, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to this guy, but this guy puts in work too, right? He puts in, for sure work. So I'm talking to him and telling him, yo, this is what's happening. And Ernie is rolling a blunt, and he's looking at what I'm talking about. Even though I'm not talking to him, he looking over my shoulder, and he finally says, he licks the paper and goes, I'm gonna go get a gun. I'm gonna go get a gun. And he starts to cross the street to the spot. When he got over there, he has to go in the building to get it and holster it and come out. Before any of that could happen, the guy I'm talking to grabs me and tries to pull me. Now, I don't know what he's doing or playing, and I snatch his hands off of me. And he didn't waste no time. All I heard was his sneakers. He's running up the block hard. Oh. So I turn around to see what's going on, and there's a dude coming behind me doing this. So now I turn around to start running. I got a few steps, and then I hit my leg on the bumper of a car that was the fender was crashed in, so the bumper was extended out, and I hit the floor when he was shooting. So he thinks he hit me, and I could see him there, and I start shaking so he could feel. Like I said, I played that a few times, so I'm adding a little something to it because he's still there, and I don't want him to come closer and shoot me. I'm trying to convince him, like, you hit some shit, that's why I'm shaking, and you better get the fuck up out of here.
So he's basically standing over you. He could come down and just put one in your head if you wanted to.
I got that paperwork too if you want.
Wow.
So out the door comes Tito's brother with the gun that Ernie went to go get, and he starts shooting at the dude. He's letting it off. Wow. And now the dude has to run towards 108th Street where there's a car waiting for him and the other guys, and they take off. Now,
damn, that's a hit. 40 grand.
That's a
sloppy
it wasn't
hit.
over. It wasn't over though.
Okay. By the way, where is your gun? Why you buy all these guns all the time?
Because they're near, but I can't have them on me because I already got caught with a machine gun.
Right. Okay. Got
it. That's another felony I don't need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they leave. We don't really know where it came from because it could be anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And about a week before that, I went and did how could I put this? I did a hostile takeover of 5 kilos in somebody's apartment.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, okay, this is for those 5 kilos that I took.
Right.
But it wasn't that. So 2 days later, Tito's on the block. Everybody's on point. Everybody has to carry. And we're not allowing people to come through the block that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 guys come on the block and they're wearing hoodies. And Raheem, one out of the 2 black dudes that work for us, is telling them, take your hoodies off, because he's talking with Tito in front of the door of the spot. And they're like, oh, chill, we don't have no problems. We don't have no problems. We're just looking for weed. He's like, all right, but take your hood off. Because I described to Tito what the dude looked like that was on me. And he had like pizza pie face. All the little like acne holes in the face.
Yeah.
And he had his ears stuck out like this.
Okay.
So I gave him that description. So take off your hood. They're trying to see if maybe this is the same people. So they trying to procrastinate, taking off their hoodies and cracking a joke and saying chill. But the minute they started taking off the hoodies, one pulled out. And now Raheem tried to pull Tito inside the building and they start shooting. So Tito got hit right here. He got hit in the arm. Now, what those twos didn't know is that we're under surveillance for the last 6 months. So on 106th Street in Columbus, there's a car parked. There's a sergeant supervising the surveillance, and there's 2 dudes there, and one of them is recording the yellow top in action. We got that video also as far as the drug operation.
Yeah.
And what you think they're gonna do?
Right.
And they pull up right there. It's 1 block away. They come out of their parking and they pull up in front of the building as homeboy shooting. He thinks this is Yellow Top. Why? They look like they belong in the neighborhood. They're in an undercover car.
Right.
They got plain clothes on. He don't know who he's shooting at, so he turned around and started shooting at them.
Oh, he's bucking at the cops.
Yeah, and the sergeant got hit in the arm. He was in the back seat. So now they had to take off again to get out the danger.
Yeah.
But what the guy didn't know is that anytime you're doing surveillance, there's multiple cars in the neighborhood station.
Yeah.
In case something happens, they could converge on whatever they want. So he didn't get off the block. He got caught right there.
Mm-hmm. And he's still doing a bid for that.
I don't think so. He got an elephant man beating on the block.
What is
literally.
that?
You never heard of that movie, The Elephant Man?
I have, but I haven't seen it.
My man, he got those Tom and Jerry naps with the 3 little hairs on top. That's what he was looking like. He got TV sets in his eyes.
Yeah.
Got missing teeth. He getting beat. They pressing his face against the bars, and you got buildings and they got the gates, black iron bars around it. They're rubbing his face on the bars. There's ladies in the windows yelling at the cops because they think that's one of the members from Yellow Top that's from the neighborhood, and he's getting just a little police brutality going on.
Yeah.
So what he did is he made a deal to call his friends to pick him up like he got away. And they had a designated spot where they were supposed to pick him up at. And when they came to pick him up, all of them got arrested.
Right.
And that's how it came out, and we started learning. So I went to their arraignment once I found out that they got caught.
Yeah.
I went to their arraignment because it's baffling me. Who is this? So we could attack.
Yeah.
And they were from Brooklyn, from Sutter Avenue in Brooklyn. Their addresses, their families there. I'm just there listening to their arraignment, and I'm going, I don't got no beef with Brooklyn. And the only dude in the neighborhood that with people from Brooklyn is Raymond. Boom. Suspect number one.